Good evening guys, welcome back to FMK Sports Cars Kit Car Direct week 45 of 2019. It's November, a bit cold outside now. It's live and as it happens, so excuse the noise if it happens while you do it. So the guys are doing some fabrication work. A couple of cars here, they're undercover. They're just our demo cars and a classic car. We've resurrected this, we're going to start back onto this build. This is a MK RX5. It's going to be a little demo car, like the standard one that's under the cover that you've seen in the last couple of weeks. Going to be a standard engine. Going to get this cracking hopefully in the next 2 months, maybe 3 tops. We should have this finished. This is going to be up for sale again, so if you're looking for something you're jumping in, want a little bit ahead of the queue, because to be honest, over the last sort of October was a fantastic month for us, been extremely busy. Lots of kits going out the door, we've got to get delivered before Christmas with a pedal box upgrade that we did. So if you want to get a bit ahead of the game on this one, give us a shout. You look us up, Facebook, Instagram, flash us an email, whatever. We've got the Rocket 2 here. You know, Ben was working on this and Dave is now. Customer Barry, really good customer, wanted this a bit refreshed. So we stripped the whole interior, as you can probably see, which is all over there. Looks a bit of a mess, unfortunately, but it has to look a mess before it looks pretty again. The aluminium panel is going to be in powder coated black, so we've got everything from centre tunnels, all the fuel tank covers, bulkhead panels, front and rear, all the header tanks and etc. That's all going to be repowder coated up. We've done all the front brakes have been resurfaced on this because with some sticking calipers. It's all the polybushing ring re-greased, etc. Dave's just made really nice little touch, nice little shroud to cover up the AIM dashboard. That's going to be powder coated black as well. If you move to the back of the car at the moment, Dave's fabricating here. We're making a rear support for the wings, a little bit of flex in the wing that the customer weren't happy at and we're not quite happy with, so we're making a new, nice, stronger support for this. Dave's doing that now. That's going to add some strength and structure to that rear wings. I think it does actually work for him. He's pretty quick around the track at Snetterton on this one, so yeah, a little bit more work to do in this, and over the weeks, well, once it goes and once it all bolts it back in together, then we'll show you the sort of finished article. The only thing I will say is a little touch that we see on this car that is pretty much a no-no. It's a top tip, really, I suppose. I don't know who built the car and how it's built. That I'm not going to say about, but using riv nuts or flange rivets, probably not recommended. They can pull out, and I think whoever's done this has tried twice. So, you know, if you're looking for safety and a bit of structure, yeah, for your seats, make sure you make a real strong fixing. This is kind of a no-no, and we'll sort that out for the customer and improve on that for him, make it strong, secure and safe. Head over to the S2000 conversion we've been doing. Now, we've had a lot of emails actually asking about this and a lot of phone calls saying, oh, how much, and you know, can you do mine and etc. I think it's a cracking engine, the S2000. We've stripped this down. We're starting to get into that. New clutch is going to go, and we're going to start detailing the engine as well. It's a little bit of work today. We'll get that on the engine stand tomorrow, and we'll go through it all. We've got to move some supports. These valve plates, this will all come off. Rocker cover is going to be redetailed, etc. So clock flywheel's got to be sorted out, etc. I think it's been sitting in a bit of water. Rest of it's pretty good. It's alternator was stuck on it, so we've got to sort out the alternator. That seems. So a few bits and bobs to do on that we'll detail it up for the customer and make that all right. So this Indy Classic chassis now, when we make these for ourselves from scratch for customers, and we've done a few of these, this normally on the Indy R chassis, not on the Classic. Now you can see what we've had to do so far. Quite a few big holes cut out here. This is to enable us to get this bell housing in. And the engine mount set in and the gearbox mount done. Pedal box has been removed. We're putting a new billet pedal box in this one for the customer as well. He wants that put into the OBP billet one that we was doing the upgrade on. That's going to be mounted into this section here, all these pedals cut out. But we have to reskin this from the inside because the clutch slave sits down here, the hydraulic. So it's quite involved. So somebody says, oh, you know, it's only a few hours. It's quite an involved process, unfortunately, to fit the S2000 engine in. The gearbox is very large. It's 55 kilos. It's a fair old weight. There's quite a bit of bell housing there that you've got to squeeze in there. The older Indy chassis is wider in the tunnel. The bike engine version, or on the newer versions, we do cut these back a little bit more on the Indy R chassis, so there's a bit more room in here to be able to enable you to get that bell housing in. So when you're starting out from this sort of process, it takes a bit more work to do. That's what we're trying to say. So all them emails and etc., can it be fitted, can it done? Yes, it can. Is it for the amateur builder at home? Probably not. You might want to, you know, come and see somebody who might be able to help you work with that conversion. So that's progress, as we said. This has landed on our doorstep today, this little beauty. Customer Phil has got an MK Indy R. He's going to be taking out his R1 engine, and he's purchased this fresh build. It's a whole shot racing engine. It's never been run, I do believe. Needs a bit of detailing, etc. It's all ceramic coated headers and a Garrett turbo on it. Now I think stage 3 specs meant to be 550 horse, which is enormous. We're going to be toning that down and working with Phil on this to go sort of 3 to 350. It's all billet clutch in it. It's a really nice bit of kit, all dry sumped SBD. So this will be detailed. The engine, the customers dropped it off. We're going to detail all this engine first, get it all sorted out, etc. And then the car will be coming in, and we'll be doing, you'll see this conversion being done, taking the R1 5EY engine out. We've got a diff conversion to do because he runs a 362. We've got a 338 in it, and we'll talk about that a bit more. But lovely bit of kit. I can't wait to see what this thing goes like. It's going to be an absolute rocket ship with this in there. It's a Gen 1 booster as well, so strong. He's had the output shaft. It's been upgraded on that as well, which you can see. He's got the larger output shaft on here as well. We've just put the sprocket adapter on today, so you can have one with the larger output shaft. All the billet clutch, slave, etc. on there. So yeah, it's going to be a real weapon, and I'm sure he's gonna have some fun and maybe a bit of a shock once he sticks that in there. Our booster car, we're getting on with this actually. Joe's just finishing off, he's putting the airbox on this now. A few little minor touches to do. Bulkhead panels in now, dash is in now. We just got to finish the process of describing that in, because I'm just finishing off the paddle shift, which we spoke about the cow horn last week. Just waiting to finish the fuel tank, and then it's ready to run up. We've sort of been on and off. We've had so much customer work with the factory built car, we kind of actually got a little bit behind on this than we normally are. But yeah, hopefully it'll all be running. It's running now, but we'll be able to show it in the video in the next sort of week or two, where we're at. So that's kind of where we're up to at the moment. We've got a couple of features here that I was reading earlier. I don't know if you picked it up. If you're looking at booster engines and things that Nick had done on his car, that was in complete car magazine. Then part 2 has come out. It's a nice little write-up on what Nick's been doing on his car, and it's a booster car, etc. So if you're buying the magazine, you want to see that and read about the MK Indy R with a booster engine. That's the latest edition that's just come out. So you know where we are. Questions, emails, Facebook, Instagram. Give us a shout, pop us up. If you need some help, advice, or you want to put your car in, servicing, etc., give us a shout. See you next week, guys.